like to come over and attend those games is Adam Hamilton, who at the moment is in Hobart for the Inter-Dominion. We'd love to have you over here, Adam. How are you?
Yeah, no, very, very good. Thank you, Sandy. Yeah, good to be with you this morning from Hobart. And look, that'd be terrific to be in Sydney, but wouldn't swap it for Hobart at the moment. I'm a harness racing lover, and it's Inter-Dominion time and plenty of excitement down here. Yes,
you've got a fantastic time at the moment, and if we look at last night's action, really dominated by a couple of people, one an Inter-Dominion king and another just a WA youngster.
Yeah, that's right, Brian Hancock. He is Mr. Inter-Dominion, and the other one, Justin Warwick, well, he had a pretty severe dose of the chicken pox yesterday. He wasn't able to take his role as the driver, but he did train a double, and Brian Hancock drove a double. And in a bizarre twist, they actually joined together to share honours in the second heat with Ataturk. But in the first heat, this is a defending champion, our Sir Vancelot. He's a wonderful horse, Sandy. He's enjoyed a huge season. He's won the Miracle Mile, the Truer Memorial, just beaten in the Victoria Cup. And Brian Hancock was out to make a very clear early statement here. A quote of his after the race was, "Do you think that showed them what they're dealing with?" He made a move around to take the lead in the middle stages, and let's pick up the action.
Ticket Flow a metre in front. Dame Raider about to throw out the challengers. Ticket Flow in front. Over on the inside, 2-3 metres in front. Dame Raider can't match it. And Ticket Flow's going to be too good. Takes out the sweepstakes for the fillies. Wins by 3 metres. Dame Raider second. Third placing, LJ's Angel.
Yes, well, that's interesting that our Sir Vancelot, as far as the bookmakers are concerned, Adam, they've got, well, they think there's only one horse left.
Well, it's pretty well the way it is, Sandy. It was a huge talking point last night, our Sir Vancelot. It was a daring drive by Brian Hancock. I spoke to him at length after the race, and he said that a lot of people take this first round of heats too easily. Just to explain the Inter-Dominion to you, it's run over 3 rounds of heats in the space of a week. They raced last night, they go around again Wednesday, and they go around again next Saturday night. And then we wait a week and we go into a final. It's usually a gruelling distance. It's 2,750 metres this year. And so often trainers are a little bit worried about asking their horses for too much of an effort on the first night. Well, Brian Hancock hasn't done that over the years, and I think that's why he has become the Inter-Dominion king, winning so impressively with our Sir Vancelot. Sandy, in the second heat, it was Brian Hancock again. As I said, Justin Warwick couldn't take the drive because of chicken pox, so I found it a little bit surprising that he went for Brian Hancock to be the driver, given that he's one of his main rivals in his series. But he used a champion and he got the result.
They were followed by Pedestal Boy, a gap to bouncing back, and Security Risk is out there for the exercise. 500 metres left to go. On the inside, Hooligan Hanover about a head in front of Indy Aaron. Vancouver Mac is running third, about to ease out 3 wide. They were followed back on the fence by Can Go, needing a run. In Orbit is out 3 wide. A little windy under pressure in the centre. Magic Dylan nowhere to go. And further back in the field to Pedestal Boy. About 200 metres left to run. They're on the circle. Hooligan Hanover a metre in front. Indy Aaron under punishment is running second. Vancouver Mac eases to the outside. Here comes the favourite now. Can Go with nowhere to run. Then Magic Dylan. Hooligan Hanover in front with 100 metres left to run. Vancouver Mac is trying to gun it down. Hooligan Hanover just the lever. Vancouver Mac won't reach it. And Hooligan Hanover won. Vancouver Mac second. Pedestal.
Yes, that race now, we should suggest you something here, that when these tapes come over from Tasmania, something may often go awry. Adam,
that's all right.
I don't know what you've done. You've put the tapes in the box and said, get them to Sydney, and something went very wrong.
Well, look, I'll tell you what happened anyway.
Okay.
There's no worries. In the first heat, Brian Hancock made his move around the field on our Sir Vancelot in the middle stages. It was a daring move and it paid off. He went on to win very easily. He beat a New Zealander, Happy Asset, who had no luck at all. He actually finished third in the race, and another New Zealander, Bradshaw, was second. The significance it is, they were short distances, and those horses trying to make runs from back in the field had no chance. And we saw that again in Heat 2. Now, this is our Sir Vancelot here, so let's just pick up the action here.
Well done.
By Sulky's length to Bradshaw. Kiwi John is running third. They were followed by Happy Asset on the inside. Further back in the field then came Oriton Hill. Over on the fence is Jack Boyer being passed by Late Bid. They were followed by Allward's Chief third last. Strzelecki Lady second last. Rainbow Niders last of all. 500 left to go down the back. The leader is Our Sir Vancelot, 2 metres in front. Running second, Kiwi John. Bradshaw is third, then Oridan Hill. Needing a run over on the inside and getting off the fence now is Happy Asset. They were followed by Late Bid. Then Allward's Chief to the outside from Jack Boyer. But around the home turn and Our Sir Vancelot leads by more than a length. Bradshaw is running second. They were followed down the outside by Kiwi John. Late Bid's a mile back, but Our Sir Vancelot, the defending champion, blitzes them in the first heat. Our Sir Vancelot, a brilliant winner by 4 metres. Bradshaw. Running third was Happy Asset.
I knew we'd find it, Adam. The bookmakers at the moment have Our Sir Vancelot at 6-4. Ataturk, Quantum Lobel are their closest rivals at 8-1. So really the bookmakers believe that Our Sir Vancelot cannot be beaten.
Look, he was absolutely awesome last night. Just capping on the third heat, it was won by Justin Warwick as a trainer again. Tony Hurley, he took the drive, and the horse was Try a Fluke. He was impressive, but ran a lot slower than the others. The way I'd call it, Sandy, is Our Sir Vancelot clearly the one to beat, and Ataturk the second most impressive from night one, and they go around again Wednesday night.
Adam, thank you very much for your time, and we'll speak to you, of course, next week. We're going to take a break from Sportsworld, though, right now. Back with more shortly.
It's long in towards pull forward. Strong mark. Taken to the back by Lloyd. The high flyer. He's got it. Lloyd is there. Keeping in the field. Baby, here we come. We're gonna stand by you. Just stay out.
The winners of Channel 7 School Sports Award are Natasha Barron and Ian Thorpe.
And it gives me a great deal of pleasure to announce the winner of the MMA Daily Telegraph New South Wales Sports Star of the Year Award 1997. The winner, Jim Cassidy.
Yes, turning our attention now to racing, and what a great thrill it is for one of the great jockeys, Jim Cassidy. I can't understand those. I welcome Max Presnell. I mean, he has a night like that on a Wednesday night, and you pick up the Sunday papers tomorrow, and he's not smiling, is he?
Well, Sandy, that's racing. That's racing. But in quite one of the more sensational aspects of the turf, stewards yesterday questioned Jim Cassidy, trainer Jack Denham, and also at Kembla Grange, another jockey, Troy Phillips. Now, the questions were asked about Jim's use of the whip on Falante and the Chipping Norton Stakes at Warwick Farm yesterday. Jim, just exactly what did you do with the whip?
Well, my whip was caught in the main at one stage, Max, and, you know, as we know, there has been an adjourned inquiry into it, but I don't believe I've done anything out of ordinary that I haven't done before, but obviously they're looking into it, but, you know, I was satisfied with what I'd done, and I don't believe that I've done anything wrong into the rules of racing.
Should we have a look at the race now, Sandy?
I think first up we should have a look at the Chipping Norton, then we'll discuss it with Keith Hillier, who is in our Melbourne studios.
They're inside the 600 metres mark, and Magic of Sydney is the leader over Future King and On Air. Encounters had a perfect run, one off on the outside, followed by Falante, who's about to whip up 3 deep, followed by Moss Downs, and last of the 7 into Gaze as they turn the corner. Into the straight, Magic of Sydney first for home over Future King. Encounters about to loom up on the outside. On his outside is Falante, who's under heavy pressure. Encounter going like a winner at the 150 mark as a length or more to Falante. Into Gaze wide out, getting home well, but Encounter's going to win under hands and heels riding. Encounter by, oh, he eased near the line. On Air has come again on the inside and damn near got him.
Yes, under normal circumstances, Shane Dye easing on Encounter would have been rather controversial. Dye was warned about dropping his hands before the post. Dye said that Encounter had spotted something near the post and had pricked his ears, and he was getting him to the line the best way he could. But Jim, The point in question, can you just show us with your hands exactly what you were doing with Falante?
Well, it was once I straightened up, Max. I went, you know, he's a stallion. I'm urging him to get him to the line the best way I can. And it was once I straightened up, my whip was caught in the mane and I pulled it out, and then I've ridden up like this, which obviously they think there's something wrong with it. But as I say, I don't believe that I'd done anything to be breaking the rules of racing, and I certainly had no intention of doing anything like that anyway.
Jim, it's Keith Hillier here.
Hello,
remember
Keith.
me?
You're looking well, mate.
Thanks, Jim.
We hadn't forgotten about you, Keith.
That's good, Max. I thought you were just purposely forgetting about me. Jimmy, yesterday's inquiry, and I know it's ongoing, so there probably are limitations for you, but obviously it was an inquiry that started before yesterday's race, with some of the evidence that came out about Troy Phillips and other people being interviewed.
No, that I wouldn't be 100% sure of, Keith. I understand that when the inquiry was adjourned during the day, that Chief Steward Ray Murray, he had contacted Kembla stewards wishing to talk to Troy Phillips, and what that outcome is, I'm not sure.
OK, Max, Shane Dye said after the race yesterday that he was never worried on encounter, and those of us who backed him weren't either. Do you think that he risked throwing that race away?
No, I think for one of the few occasions I do think that Shane Dye was quite right. He was the master of the situation. He is a difficult horse encounter, we know. He pointed out how the horse had pricked his ears approaching the winning post. He said, this is a danger sign. I better get him to the line. Don't want to do too much with this horse now. And he just had to follow his instincts. He got there. To my eye, he was never going to be beaten.
Max, let's now have a look at the General and the Newmarket.
Out on the grandstand now, and Rock You, the leader, to Singing the Blues, hard ridden to be second. Miss Jugar is third, followed by Jugulator and Catalan Opening, just behind the leading horses on the grandstand side. On the other side, General Nadim about a neck in front of Natois. A length and a half, Toledo. Scandinavia's under the whip to go forward. They reached the 300 metres, and General Nadim slipped about a length and a half in front of Natois. Gone, Scandinavia running on. Catalan Openings burst to the front of the grandstand. It's the General in front on the flat side, though, in front of Toledo and Scandinavia. General Nadim, that's the real one, won it by a neck from Toledo and no Scandinavia.
Well, Greg Miles chose the right phrase there. That's the real General Nadim. What happened in the Oakley Plate, we'll never know. There was a 600-metre section of the Oakley Plate that he carved out in 31.1 seconds. But yesterday, in an amazingly slow first half to Australia's most famous sprint race, the Newmarket, the first 600 metres in 36, the General had a soft, easy run. He was able to hang on here, and the one out in the middle of the track, Catalan Opening, had nothing to cut himself into the race. I thought it was an eye-catching performance from the top weight.
Jim, the Caulfield track, as far as General Nadim was concerned in the Oakley Plate. Now, you've had a bit of experience on it. Similar sections, well, not quite as fast, but Chavog last week in the Blue Diamond. Do you think the Caulfield track has played a role, or will play a role, in reversals that are going to come from horses that have raced in Caulfield? They're going to surfaces like Flemington and later Rosehill and Randwick?
I think so, Max. You know, the inside, we talk a lot about track bias, but the inside at Caulfield last week, it did clearly show later in the day, as the day progressed, that horses coming 3 and 4 wide were getting home over the top of horses on the fence. And when you look at, say, the General and back to Shovehog, when horses are running that time early, they can't burn the wick at both ends. And I think it clearly showed yesterday in the Newmarket when the General's first 600 metres of the race was a lot slower than his last 600.
Burn the wick at both ends, of course. You're riding Might and Power in the Australian Cup tomorrow. He burned a bit of wick at Caulfield last start. How do you think, will he be a better horse in the Australian Cup tomorrow?
I think so, Max. It's his third run back. He's been set for the Australian Cup, and you know, his run at Caulfield was a lot better than it looked. Only second up, and remember, he did take 3 or 4 runs to come good last time in, but the Australian Cup's his race, and he's going to be very very hard to beat.
Good luck on him tomorrow,
Go lay
Jim.
the odds on, Keith.
Look, I think he'll win, Max, and I think Volante will might win the Cadbury Guineas as well tomorrow. It's for the first time in Victoria, we've got 2 races of $1 million, so it's going to be a very special race day. We saw Rose of Danehill yesterday upset the 2 Star Filly Champagne and Kensington Palace, who Lee Freeman said this morning about Kensington Palace that she's going to contest the AJC Derby, so that's that's going to be a terrific race for her.
I think we've done pretty well today, Keith. We've got through the entire show and we haven't used that dirty J word.
Catch you next week.
Keith, yeah, good to talk to you. Keith Hillier down in Melbourne. Max Presnell, Jim Cassidy. Jim, congratulations once again on your award.
Thanks,
and
Andy.
good luck with whatever may transpire in the forthcoming days.
I think everything will be sweet, mate.
Excellent. We're going to take a break on Sportsworld more shortly.
Both in it. You've come too far to turn back now. Still to come on Sportsworld. Super 12 Rugby. Kylie Gillies has the latest sports scoops from around the country, indeed around the world. And Mick McWan on that game AFL. We hope you're enjoying this first autumn edition of Sportsworld with Sandy Roberts. Mr.